As we continue to look at section 2.6 and solving formulas, I want to show you a couple other techniques to solve a formula when you have a fraction in your problem as you originally begin. So here we're asked to solve this formula for y. Now the y is in the numerator, and we have a large fraction bar which signifies a special case. So when you have a large fraction bar, and I'm going to put a little note here, when you have a large fraction, ... what are you going to do? You're going to multiply both sides by the denominator. Okay, now remember, put that note down, a little arrow coming down here to that end. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by m. Now once again, I've written an m on the outside with parentheses, and now I'm going to recopy the interior of the original problem down and then go from there. As I look at my problem, the purpose of multiplying that was to eliminate those m's. So now on the left, I have left over y minus b, and on the right I have mx. Now I need to isolate that y. I'm going to do that by adding a b to both sides. This is going to give me a result of y equals mx plus b as an answer. Alright, moving on. Our next one, you may recognize this formula. This formula has to do with the comparison between Celsius and Fahrenheit, and multiplying by 5/9 and subtracting 32. Now here we're going to solve for f. So, as we learned on the previous page, to get rid of a fraction, we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So, I'm going to multiply both sides by 9/5. Once again, I write that down first, and then I put the remaining part on the inside as it's originally in the problem. The 5/9 and the 9/5 cancel. That leaves me with 9/5 c equals f minus 32. To solve this, all I'm going to do, very simply, is add 32 to both sides to get the f by itself. So I add 32. That leaves me an answer of 9/5 c plus 32 equals f. Alright, let's look at our last problem. Our last problem is the opposite comparison of Fahrenheit to Celsius as we had in the previous problem. Now, we want to get the c by itself. To do that, we're going to first subtract 32 from both sides, almost the reverse of what we did up above. That leaves us with 9/5 c equals f minus 32. Our next step will be to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of the fraction. So notice I'm putting the 5/9 out front in both cases. Those two cancel, leaving us with c equals 5/9 times f minus 32. So in both cases, I'm just trying to show you the steps for kind of walking through this as we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take about 20 minutes or so, and we're going to work on these 11 problems of solving equations. Then also I'm going to have you go back in section 5, and I want you to do 2 problems over the material that we covered in section 5. And just to make sure that we're comfortable with those ideas, we're going to work on those 2 problems. Now, those 2 problems, one of them is an integer problem, and it's an even integer problem. That's number 18. So, just as a reminder, when you have even integers, the first one is going to be x, the second one will be, think with me, x plus 2. The next one after that will be x plus 4, and so on. The other problem is a speed problem. That's number 24. Remember to set up your chart with your speed problem just like we have on the bottom of page 41, similar to the practice quiz. Okay, so let's get working on that homework. We're going to take about 20 minutes, and then we'll come back together to talk about our next section.